I got 15 for initiative.
I got a 19.
I rolled an 11.
Where's the monster at? Is it still hanging off the stone wall under the bridge?
From what you can tell, that's where it was last.
I'm going to use my bonus action to hide and then get near the edge and ready my action to attack it if it comes up with a sneak attack.
Give me a stealth check.
Ooh, that's a 9. I even have a +7 in stealth and it still screwed me.
All right, noted. Barak, your turn.
I'm going to follow Joe's lead. I'm going to ready my action to blast this thing to hell with Eldritch Blast if it comes up.
Sounds good. Don, you're up.
I'm going to blast him with a firebolt cantrip. I rolled an 11 for 3 fire damage.
That misses. The glowing green eye ducks, and your firebolt goes wide and shoots off into the crevasse.
Fuck, all right, I'm going to back up to try and lure it out so it can hopefully get alpha striked. I'm going to run past Joe so he can get his attack off.
Thanks, boy.
The creature gets an attack of opportunity with disadvantage because it's hanging off the wall on you, Don. Pretty sure an 8 misses. You make it back. No problem.
I want to yell over my shoulder, "Fuck you, you Cyclops-looking motherfucker! Come get me! I taste like burnt steak and ketchup."
You hear the creature gnashing its teeth in desperate hunger as it clambers over the edge, right into reach of Joe. You all hear in your minds, "Food! Give me food!" Joe, you can make your attack with advantage because you successfully hid from the creature's line of sight before it was too late for it. Barak, you get a normal attack since you didn't hide.
I rolled a 16 to hit for 9 piercing damage with an additional 2 damage from sneak attack.
I shoot my Eldritch Blast at this thing, 13 to hit for 10 force damage.
Joe, yours hits and deals some damage to it as it winces in pain. Barak, your shot misses, kicking up some dirt besides the creature. The creature continues to charge Don, running past you, Joe.
Can I do an attack of opportunity?
No, readying an action means you use your reaction if the event is triggered, so it runs past you without provoking you.
That fucking blows. Squaw!
It attacks you with its sharp claws 2 times, Don. Fuck, both miss. It crit failed and rolled an 8. I'm gonna say that in its haste for food, it stumbles and ends its turn in the prone position. Joe, you're up.
I run over to it and attack with my rapier. Since it's prone, I get advantage. That's a 16 to hit for 11 piercing damage and 6 from sneak attack. So 17 in total.
You skewer this thing good. It's looking pretty weak. Barak, it's your turn.
I move up to within 5 feet of the creature, cast Hex on it with my bonus action, and use my action to attack it with my Eldritch Blast.
You get advantage since it's prone.
That's exactly my thought. 15 to hit for 7 force damage, 4 extra on top from Hex.
How do you do it?
I aim my shot, squint my eyes, and shoot my Eldritch Blast right through its giant eyeball.
And that ends combat. The creature lies dead at your feet, Barak.
I want to try and get down the hole and find its magic shit.
Don, you make it down into the crevasse without any problem. Given time, the rough walls are easily climbable without any check. You reach the bottom of the crevasse. It is dark and hard to see.
I have 60 feet of dark vision. Where's the loot at, Ben? You promised hot, juicy loot.
Fair enough. Since you have dark vision, you can see everything at the bottom of the crevasse in shades of black and white. While not visible from above, now that you are down here, you can clearly see a battered wooden chest hidden in a cubbyhole just under the north bridge.
I squawk down there to see if Don found anything. Squaw!
I yell up, "Yeah, I found the shit." I head over towards the chest and open it.
Do you check for traps?
Should I check for traps? Why are you saying that? Yeah, I check for traps.
Give me a perception check.
Fuck! I crit fail on the check.
All right, you decide how your character feels.
What the fuck is that supposed to mean? Joe, get your feathery ass down here and check for traps on this chest.
Squaw. Okay, I make my way down there.
I'll stay up here and keep watch for anything that tries to mess with us.
All right, Joe, you make it down without issue. Give me a perception check. Unless you don't have dark vision, then roll with disadvantage.
I don't have dark vision. Can I light a torch and roll normally?
Sure, that works.
All right, I light a torch. That's a 15 on perception.
You can tell that it's a perfectly normal chest with no traps attached.
What the fuck, Ben? Why did you waste my time with this shit?
I've got to keep you on your toes.
Ben, you're going to make us afraid of doors if you keep this up.
Maybe you should be afraid of the things you don't know of that are lurking in unsuspecting places.
I open the stupid chest. What's inside?
You find in the chest a total of 160 silver pieces, 120 gold pieces, 5 malachite gems worth 15 GP each, 2 potions of healing, and a spell scroll of augury. You also find a +1 longsword in a silver-chased scabbard. Upon inspecting it, you find that along the blade is the name Talon. The hilt is worked in the shape of a bird of prey with outspread wings.
I want my share of the loot, nerds.
You all successfully make it out of the crevasse. There's a pathway across the way from the north bridge and another across the south bridge. You're all standing in front of the north bridge currently.
Let's go across the north bridge.
I like this new +1 longsword, but my strength is an 8. I don't think any of us can use this effectively, Ben. I'm just going to put it in my pack and continue to use my rapier for now.
Yeah, Ben, why would you give us stuff we can't even use?
You can technically use the sword, just not too well. We can't use the spell scroll either since none of us are clerics.
Yeah, and the potions take an action to use too. What's the point of healing for 2d4 plus 2 on my turn when I'm just going to get smacked again? Waste of a turn.
I'll make sure you guys can make use of your magic stuff. I'm going to make a home brew right now that says you guys can use a potion as a bonus action instead of an action. Also, spell scrolls are locked and loaded. You don't need to have it within your spell list to cast it. You just need to be able to read the spell scroll. So you need some sort of light or dark vision. Is that fair?
Works for me.
That's very generous.
We should be able to switch out loot for shit we can use now.
Quit reaching, Don.
Fine.
You all make it across the north bridge without problem. You walk down the hallway that ends in 2 doors, one on the south wall, another on the north wall. Everyone give me a perception check.
I rolled an 18.
Nat 20, baby, let's fucking go, boy.
I got an 8.
Everyone but Don, you hear the sounds of rattling, followed by shouts and groans of what you assume to be Redbrands playing some kind of game coming from the south door. The north door, you hear sounds of bubbling, as if a potion is being brewed.
Let's take the north door. We don't need to deal with these guys now.
Or we bust in, bullshit them, and deal with them now.
Squaw.
But there may be stuff in the room where the bubbling sound is coming from that we can use against them. No matter what, going to the south door is probably going to end in a fight.
All right, fair. But if we get into any shit, it's your fault, cult boy.
I peek the north door if it's unlocked.
You peek the door. This room appears to be a wizard's workshop. A rat scurries across the floor and takes refuge under a large work table set up with alembics, retorts, distillation coils, and other alchemical devices. All of it stewing and bubbling away. Bookshelves are crowded with sheaves of parchment and strange-looking tomes.
I walk in and take a look around the workshop.
Same, I look for anything valuable.
I want to look at the books and possible notes left around.
Barak and Don, give me an Arcana check since you're both proficient.
I rolled an 18.
I got a 13.
You both can tell that whoever is running this magical lab is likely trying to brew potions of invisibility. However, it is apparent that they have not been successful so far. Barak, looking through the books, you find a tome that looks interesting, written in Dwarvish. What languages do you know?
I know Abyssal, Common, Dwarvish, Elvish, and Orc.
Why the fuck do you know Abyssal?
Spoilers, Don.
What, you wrote a backstory?
Yeah, maybe if you role-played a bit more, you'd get to hear it.
Fuck, I didn't think the languages actually mattered.
What do I get from this book, Ben?
It's a journal from an adventurer named Ermin. It describes the history of a place called the Lost Mine of Phandelver.
Oh shit, he said the name of the campaign. Squaw. I do another happy dance.
Like I was saying, it mentions the Lost Mine of Phandelver and the Forge of Spells that lie within. More than 500 years ago, clans of dwarves and gnomes made an agreement known as the Phandelver's Pact, by which they would share a rich mine in a wondrous cavern known as Wave Echo Cave. In addition to its mineral wealth, the mine contained great magical power. Human spellcasters allied themselves with the dwarves and gnomes to channel and bind that energy into a great forge called the Forge of Spells, where magic items could be crafted. Times were good, and the nearby human town of Phandalin prospered as well. But then disaster struck when orcs swept through the north and laid waste to all in their path. A powerful force of orcs reinforced by evil mercenary wizards attacked Wave Echo Cave to seize its riches and magic treasures. Human wizards fought alongside their dwarf and gnome allies to defend the Forge of Spells, and the ensuing spell battle destroyed much of the cavern. Few survived the cave-ins and tremors, and the location of Wave Echo Cave was lost. The journal also details information about a magical mace named Lightbringer, which was commissioned by priests of Lathander, also known as the Morning Lord or the God of Dawn, from the mages working with the gnomes and dwarves of the Phandelver's Pact. The mace was lost when Wave Echo Cave and its mine vanished from history.
Yawn, lore dump. Okay, blah, 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 lore and shit. Is there any loot in the room?
Yes, upon searching, you find some rare reagents: mercury, dragon bile, and powdered nightshade. With your knowledge of Arcana, you can tell these would be worth about 25 GP to an apothecary or alchemist.
Dope, I take it.
You all hear a loud clambering from the other room you all didn't go into. The sounds of shouts and fighting can be heard. Joe, you also notice a small rat scurrying under the door going into the east room.
Oh shit, what's happening?
I don't think we're the only ones raiding this place.
I go to chase the little mousy boy. I open the door.
You do so. When you do, standing in front of you is a tall, dark-bearded human male in robes wearing a princely mantle of ermine. He's holding a beautiful glass staff. He gives you all a grin and says, well, looks like we have unexpected guests. 4 Redbrands burst into the lab and yell out, "Boss, we have company, we're under attack!" Glassstaff gives them a scowl. That is obvious. They're right here. Attack, you fools. Everyone roll for initiative.
23, I crit, baby.
I got 22. I crit as well. Let's fucking go.
I got 21, not a crit, but still awesome.
All right, Joe, you're up first.
I go to attack Glassstaff. That's a 14 to hit for 10 piercing damage. I assume I don't get sneak attack.
That's right, Glassstaff gives you an evil grin as you try to stab him. His mage armor knocks back your attack.
Ah, shit. I use my bonus action to disengage and get near Barak and Don.
Okay, Barak, you're up.
I hex the nearest Redbrand as a bonus action, then Eldritch Blast him. 15 to hit for 9 force damage, 4 necrotic from Hex, for a total of 13 damage.
You blast him good. He's looking hurt. Don, you're up.
I hold out my hands and cast Burning Hands at all the Redbrands in the doorway. 7 fire damage, DC 13 dex save to shake off half.
The first one, which Barak already hit, fails his save and gets burnt to a crisp. The one behind him succeeds and takes half. The remaining 3 Redbrands charge in, knocking over the lab table and attack each of you twice. Joe, you're taking 7 slashing, Barak. You're taking 4 slashing, and Don, you're taking 7. Glassstaff somatically moves his hands and says a magical incantation as 3 glowing darts of magical force reach out and hit each of you as he attacks you all with a magic missile. You all take 4 force damage each. We're back to you, Joe.
I attack the nearest Redbrand with sneak attack since I'm near friends. That's a crit, baby, hot dog. After rolling damage twice, I get 10 piercing damage and 5 sneak attack damage for 15 damage total.
How do you kill him?
I just stab him in the throat and pull out my rapier, and he gargles on his blood.